All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Mr. Amaechi and Wike. I don't know if it's his predecessor or post-predecessor, but anyway, there's a lot of basketballs back and forth going on between. I'm looking at the reports here on Guardian. It says nobody ever asked Wike how he made me governor. This is what Amaechi. This is a quote from him, I guess. But let me read this short excerpt, and then I want to hear your take on this, sir. Former Rivers State Governor Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Rotimi Amaechi has dismissed claims by his Chibuike Amaechi has dismissed claims by his political rival and successor. Okay, successor Nyesom Wike that he made him governor, challenging journalists and the public to interrogate the origins of that assertion. In a recent interview marking his 68th birthday, Amaechi said his emergence as governor in 2007 was the result of a judicial process and not political patronage. Nobody made me governor but God. Dr. Peter Odili and the Nigerian judiciary, he declared. Surprisingly, no journalist has ever asked that man that said he made me governor how he did it. Nobody has ever asked that question. Amaechi, who was elected governor, asked after a landmark Supreme Court ruling reinstated his candidacy despite being substituted before the 2007 elections, emphasized that the judiciary played the decisive role in the outcome. I went to court. Lateef Fagbemi was my lawyer. He's now the Attorney General of the Federation. Maybe you should ask him. The former governor also pushed back against another widespread narrative that he offered Wike the position of Commissioner for Finance in his administration. It is not true that I offer him the position, Amaechi said, adding that former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Bello Adoke, had traveled to Port Harcourt to inform him of Wike's interest in that portfolio. And I said no, because he has to work under me. I wanted him as Chief of Staff so that I can supervise him, Amaechi stated. He dismissed suggestions that his decision was based on mistrust or rivalry. It means the governor supervising his staff. He said he made himself chief of staff. He made himself governor. He made himself minister. He made himself local government chairman. So end it there. Don't go further. All right, so I'm going to end it there and I will not go further. Tell us what you might know or remember about this.
Yeah, this excerpt that you are quoting from the Guardian actually was originally granted during prime time interview after all the rantings by the current FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Remember last Monday's media chat with journalists in Abuja, where he said it was disgraceful for Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi to use the occasion of his 60th birthday to launch a tirade complaining about hunger, which he said was nothing other than hunger for power. Now, it was in that television media media interview that Chibuike Rotimi Amaechi had the opportunity of rebutting, of denying or pushing back against some of the things. But he was so reluctant about joining issues with Nyesom Wike. And he reminded his interviewer that part of the deal before coming on that show was that he was not going to talk about politics and all that. But it was irresistible for him to push back on claims, wild quote and unquote claims, often pushed.
I'm sorry. How can Mr. Amaechi come on the show and not talk about politics? Is that even possible?
Because, well, you respect the choices of your guest. Otherwise, you'll be a bad media host. If if there were requisite agreements, on what to touch on and what not to touch on. So it's not. It's no exception, but also it's not a core rule. But it is also good to respect pre-agreed terms of appearance on any
I agree. It is good. If it was me, I would not respect it. Sorry.
But let me, before we continue on that trajectory, let me remind you that it's almost becoming a 1 week, one trouble concerning the FCT minister, yes, Wike. He already has programmed, has laid out another trouble for himself and Nigeria as a nation this new week. Tomorrow, he intends to clamp down on 32 embassies in Abuja in the name of demanding grand rent. And from what experts have now said, this guy seems to have a knack for fishing in troubled waters. And what do they mean by that? He is not looking at the 1962 diplomatic convention signed in Vienna, saying that there are certain things you don't even do when it comes to international embassies and consulates. Now, going there to demand rent is almost like an illegality. It is not covered by any law to go and ask embassies in Nigeria, foreign embassies, for grand rent. And at this point, it is hoped that there will be interventions from the presidency, from the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and the office of the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. So it looks like even when trouble they sleep, as Fela would put it, Wike's Nyangago, they wake up. He has a way for looking, he has his own way of manufacturing troubles and looking for trouble. I think that is his own political style, his own style of operation. He needs to stoke one trouble or the other to maintain relevance in the media and in the public. And I do not think that recommends it, because if he's allowed to do what he's doing now, remember, he has done it with his former boss, Chibuke Rotimi Amaechi. He's done it with Atiku Abubakar, with everybody, almost even now going to spite President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Remember him saying that he was not told. Almost implying, he did not say that, I can't lie about him, but it was implicit in his statement that probably the president ought to have consulted with him before declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State, before that action was taken. So he's beginning to take the trouble to Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. But understand that no matter how theatrical Wike tries to put it, in whichever way he puts it, he is suspected of being the one that supplied President Bola Ahmed Tinubu outrightly false intelligence that led to the current political contraction in Rivers State. That said, the boss bash between Chibuke Rotimi Amaechi and his former political surrogate, that is his former chief of staff, is beginning to climax. Is getting to a point of resolution. And that resolution is such that at least Amaechi has taken his leave from the public space. The only complaint he has now is that with their coalition that they are putting together, they have tested the waters, and it looks like, because from that same interview, he made that disclosure that INEC is not willing to register new political parties, which the late Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Uwais, wrote extensively about, made an opinion about, on why Nigeria must be a multi-party state. And political scientists before now, particularly experienced politicians like Obafemi Awolowo, had that position, that for a multilingual, multicultural and multi-ethnic society like Nigeria, it has become almost indispensable to have federalism and multi-party system. So that is why I'm saying this is almost, coming to a resolution that Amaechi is minding his business. But at what time would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu be able to put, at what time would he be able to put Wike in his proper place? Because it is because he has all this federal support. That is why he and his political attack machine, Lerola Inka, that's why they are everywhere calling people names. And no politician has ever behaved so recklessly the way Wike has taken the Nigerian space, the Nigerian political space lately. It's unprecedented. Yes, there will be all kinds of rough rides in politics in Nigeria. But this current standard set by Wike is almost unprecedented. And that is why I said, tonight on Seun Okinbaloye's show, when Segun Showunmi, the former spokesperson to former Vice President Atiku, he was spokesperson to him when Iran, as the presidential candidate of PDP. Segun Showunmi visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last night or yesterday in Lagos. In spite of all the criticisms and the denunciatory statements that is made about Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the recent past,
that's politics.
Everybody was curious, why did he go there? And I was looking, he was going to hint on what he asked or what he told, what he and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu discussed yesterday concerning Wike. That discussion did not go as far. And I'm looking forward to Chief Segun Showunmi coming to tell Nigerians the opinion of Bola Tinubu on why he will continue to abhor and protect a nuisance like Wike in his administration. That said, there are vistas of hope for Nigeria. It's not all the time that you would have roughnecks and ruffians calling the shots politically in the country. The beautiful ones will soon pop up and they will do wonders and make sure that Nigeria can stand tall in the Committee of Nations. At least Nigeria has an opportunity to correct what it has missed in the first 65 years of its nationhood. Wherever individuals like Donald Trump seems to be, individuals like Donald Trump seem to be fortunate at the moment, Nigeria can seize that occasion and say, no, we can fill the space. There is something exceptional about us. There's something peculiar and unique about us. In this country, we can provide leadership where there seems to be a vacuum. And that is what I expect to happen at this moment. So we must look beyond the bars between Wike or bars between Wike, who never, yes, he is so self-conceited and selfish. It's almost like the subject that we used to treat in in a course like The Rise of English Novel, how a gentleman will come on the scene and will declare himself as self-made, will be so snobbish and would see himself as a noble rich, newly arrived on the scene, as somebody who owes no gratitude to anybody on how he has just made this wealth. They are always so proud, and everybody in the society looks at them with some pity, but they are not able to self-defecate and examine themselves. So that is the kind of character you have in Wike, at least where Amaechi is asking, or is nudging all of us, ask him how exactly he made him the governor of Rivers State. You have seen the difference between these two personalities. Chibuke Rotimi Amaechi is grateful to God, his predecessor in office, Dr. Peter Odili, and the Supreme Court in Nigeria for making him governor. But Jason Wike has never been mentored by everybody, or by anybody. He holds no gratitude to anybody. Don't be surprised if tomorrow he says that, he knew it all, and that was how he became FCT minister. No thanks to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's all I can say about this person and this fight, or this public argument between the two of them.
All right. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let us know your thoughts about that. Join the conversation. We'll be right back with some other trendy stories around the world.